This is Dr. Rex Gatto, business psychologist, board-certified coach, and cognitive behavioral psychotherapist. We begin a new year, a year with hope, leaving behind the old year of despair, and with optimism that the monster will be conquered in 2021. However, despair of unrest, injustice, and fear of civil divide prevails. This last year has been a year of forced change, of redesigning the workplace to the home place, and obligatory contemplation. It's been a year of viral fear that has changed the mindset of many people from positivity to negativity. This year, let's create an expectation of hope that we can be resilient individually and nationally. A year of new ways of working, educating, and celebrating. A year that is resilient to health, civility, leadership, and positive change. To that end, I want to share with you 15 tips to build resilience. I think resilience is a key to our growth in 2021. And I'd like to begin with a paraphrase from T.S. Eliot. We shall not cease from exploration, and at the end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started and know the place for the first time through the unknown, remembered gate, when the last of earth left to discover is that which was the beginning. It's a new beginning. It's a way for all of us to rethink what we have experienced, what we've learned, and how we can stay positive. Every day is a test of resilience. Every day we need to support our successes and disappointments. Measure your ability to cope, succeed, and overcome. Last year was a test to overcome, to build on ourselves that we are capable of persevering. Build self-esteem on successes. What do you do very well? How have you accomplished? Think of this as a daily mindset, as a test of resilience. Look at this boulder, a 300-pound boulder. Could I remove a 300-pound boulder? Yes, I could break it into smaller parts. Don't feel overwhelmed. Break what is in front of you into smaller parts. Work, self, stress, anxiety, family. Break it into smaller parts that can be removed and handled by you. Do you get up in the morning and understand your first tasks are accomplishments? Getting up, family needs, getting ready, getting to work on time, performing job responsibilities, giving yourself credit for what it is that you do. Those first tasks are accomplishments that you should build on for each day. Or do you have a negative view and let anxiety and avoidance of doing things and not focusing on your competence get in the way? Do you have a negative view of the future? Are you filled with hope or hopelessness? Change is something that we can learn from. Stop taking action that is negative or worry or depressed. Focus on positivity, not the negativity. Recovery is imminent. A temporary decline from normal functioning? Yes. And it's unfavorable? Yes. Traumatic. Was a period of time in our history that prevented us from focusing. We will recover. The question is, will we be resilient? Yes, we will overcome from trauma. Broken bones heal. Concussions can heal. Being burned out and anxious and depressed mood. We can motivate ourselves. We can heal. Post-traumatic stress of worried about the things that we experienced. Will we experience them again? We can stay positive and say, what have we learned? What are we dealing with? How can we overcome? What is resilience? Resilience is a process of adapting well in the face of adversity and trauma, significant sources of stress, the ongoing changes that we had to go through last year. Not only that, but the loss of patients and so many sick patients and such a heavy workload that physicians, nurses, and advanced practice providers gave to the last measure. We're still in the process of bouncing back, and resilience can be based on what we each are learning. We can learn from being distressed. We can learn of our own strength and competence and willing to overcome. That willingness to overcome. Reflect on your ability to recover quickly and adjust. And remember to have a healthy mindset, adapting from adversity and overcoming trauma to ongoing and overcoming stress with positivity and resilience. People are exposed to a violent or life-threatening event. We've seen that. We can struggle. We can have general resilience to come back from it. Return to a new mental framework. I can, I will. Yes, we've been traumatized. We will recover. Will we be resilient and come back to that same emotional level and the ability that we have and can demonstrate? I want to go through 15 tips with you. Tip number 1, define resilience. What is your mental frame of mind? Whatever it is, expand your views. You know, people say I'm a psychologist. You're a shrink. And I say I'm an expander. My job isn't to change someone's mind. My job is to help people to expand their thinking, their thoughts, their view of whatever it is that they're looking at. Be aware of your own behaviors. Be aware of your behaviors. How are you acting? Learn to develop and problem-solving skills to move beyond. Think of new ways of moving forward. Explore, exploration. And maybe you'll find that you are returning to the same environment, but it can be new because of the way you think through it. Positive view of self in the future. Take the right actions, and we will develop together a realistic action plan. Tip number 2, keys to being resilient. Take stock of what you know to be true. Give yourself credit for your successes. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Network with others. Find a confidant or find a peer coach. And if you want to know what a peer coach is, look at one of other videos that I did on peer coaching and positivity of overcoming some of the trauma from last year. There are a number of videos that you may be able to watch at your convenience. Create a coping plan, and I will help you to do that, to overcome the problems and the issues of stress that confront you. Control what you can control. Stop and reflect. Give yourself credit for all that you do. Tip number 3, actions that lead to resilience. Write a vision statement or a goal. What's your purpose? What have you done this month to advance toward fulfilling your vision? You know, my grandmother said to me, if you want to be a wealthy man, every time you get a paycheck, put $25 away so that you can continue to increase each month your worth. I apply that to a vision statement. What have you done this month to advance towards your goals? What have you done this month to advance your career? What have you done this month to meet the challenges? Stop to reflect on the behaviors and the emotions that you have. Be persistent in continuing to learn. Learning is a lifelong process. We are social beings. Find a collaborator, find a confidant, or a peer coach, someone that you are comfortable in working with. This is a format that you can use to design your vision, your goal, your advancement each month, the learnings that can be documented, and the collaborators' comments or the peer coaches' comments. Keep a record. It will help you. Don't just think about things. Write them down so that 2 months from now you can remember what your thoughts were and how you are building resilience. Tip number 4, Have a belief in yourself. Have a belief in me. The key to people's the capacity to achieve resilience is determined by the way they view themselves, the positive view of life and the positive view of the future. Create a belief in yourself. Tip number 5, have the will to succeed. Have a will to succeed. Commitment to take action. Belief in yourself. A growth mindset, not a fixed mindset, but a growth mindset based on the work of Carol DeWitt. A mindset that is flexible and adaptable and willing to grow and willing to learn. Learn from your successes. What are you doing right? I think one of the things that we do poorly is that we don't analyze our successes as to what we did right and how we can continue them. What we do is analyze our mistakes and our failures. We put a lot of time in what went wrong. And we think if we examine what went wrong, we're going to get better. Why don't we look at what went right, examine it, explore it, and continue to apply it everywhere? Tip number 6, a commitment. Your commitment. Have commitment. Look at the meaning and purpose of the life that you have as a nurse, as an advanced practice provider, physician. You went into this profession to care for others. Taking action is also a risk. It's a risk. The work that you do is a risk. But stop and reflect. Do what is right. Support and help yourself, patients, colleagues, and each other. Nurses can give physician feedback and physicians can give nurse feedback. APPs can do the same. It is a team approach. Have a commitment to do what is right. Tip number 8, growth mindset. The growth mindset is from positive to negative life experiences. I can learn. I can grow from positive and negative life experiences. I can learn. Don't be afraid to compete against yourself. And here's a thought. Life is like a golf game. The course is your job and each swing is a challenge. I view that sometimes as a way to compete against yourself. Are you meeting your own goals? Are you meeting and fulfilling your own gifts and talents? Tip number 9, achieving resilience. Remember, resilience is distinct from recovery. You will recover. Will you be resilient? You can reach this in many ways, ways in which you can find and support yourself through resilience. To achieve resilience, to be resilient. Emotional outlook is one. Some people find comfort in religion. Be flexible. Flexibility. Don't be rigid. Have an understanding of yourself. Express your feelings. You can write the unexpressed. Meditation. View positively. View yourself in positive ways. Focus toward the future in a positive way. Work with a peer coach. Be a peer coach. Tip number 10, write a resilience plan. I mentioned to you that I would help you write a plan. Here are the points. Number 1, reflect. What are your thoughts right now? Right now, your thoughts, your ideas, and emotions. Plan. 3 parts to a plan. Where you are, where you want to go, the actions to move from where you are to where you want to go. That's how you plan. I'll say it again, a plan. 1, where are you now? Outline it. 2, what are the goals that you want to achieve? 3, what are the actions that you need to put into place to achieve your goals? Be flexible, adjust, adapt. Nothing is rigid. Nothing is rigid. You must be flexible to write your plan. You notice I say write your plan. I didn't say think about it and ruminate. I said write it. The act of writing will lessen your own stress. If you feel more comfortable in typing and putting it in the computer, fine. But I do think that you have more of a tension discharge That is reducing your stress by sitting and writing and thinking about yourself. Albert Schweitzer, the very famous scientist physician, wrote, "I don't know what your destiny will be, but I do know the ones among you who will be really happy are those who have sought and found how to serve." You are in a service function. Not only do you serve patients, but you serve each other. Tip number 11, hope. I think one of the things that distinguishes leaders, all leaders, not people in leadership position, but true leaders, is that leaders provide hope. Feeling of expectation of the future, hope in a positive way, knowing that I will attain my outcomes. Your strength, your conviction to meet the challenges and the struggle. Struggles are good, they're healthy. Struggles demonstrate and help to fulfill your own humanness. Don't push from struggle. Ask, what can I learn from the struggle? How do I feel in the struggle? Have I demonstrated my strengths in the struggle? Struggles are healthy. Tip number 12, and it's 2A and B. 12A, creating a strategy, reaching out to resources. Get input from people, the peer coach, family, professional colleagues, friends, coworkers. Set realistic goals for yourself. Don't try to move the 300-pound boulder. Break it into parts. You can remove 10 to 30-pound parts of the boulder. Mentally, have hope. See crisis as a problem that can be solved. You can solve it. Move forward. I know there are many things that are confronting us today: work, family, and self. And there is great stress and pressure because of the situation that we find ourselves. Reflect. You can find positive ways to address it all. 12B, create strategies, act on your situation, do something, be engaged. Don't sit back, don't be passive. Discover yourself. Like what you see. Discover yourself and see yourself in a new way. Self-awareness and managing your emotions, motivations, compassion, understanding other people's emotions, and building upon interpersonal relationships. That's what Dane Goldman talked about when he talked and presented emotional intelligence as equal to intelligence. 13, and again, there are two, 13A, 13B, learning and developmental questions. I suggest that you look at each one of these questions and write a journal for yourself. Date it, because you may have differing viewpoints. Each month you could sit down and write your responses to these questions and see if you are advancing towards your goals. For you, what is stress? For you, what stresses you? What do you do when you are stressed? Do you provide support for yourself? Have you helped yourself and have you helped others? Have you overcome obstacles? Are you in the process of overcoming obstacles? Are the obstacles still in front of you? What do you feel hopeful? Why do you feel hopeful? What motivates you to take action? Who inspires you? And are you an inspiration for others? I suggest that you write your responses each month to these questions. You could write bullet points, but you might find that you are growing each month based on your responses. Tip number 14, dealing with the inner promise. Am I my own resident critic? When you're alone in your car, are you positively thinking or thinking about all the negative things that are hitting you? Are you listening to the self-talk in a negative way or a positive way? Do you have that monster in your head? That monster in your head that says, you didn't, you should have. Why did you? Stop the negative tape in your head. If you have a negative thought, stop and ask yourself, what's a positive thought about it? Write yourself mentally the positive messages. Stop the negative tape. Create the positive tape. Write positive affirmation. Think of a positive affirmation each day. And when you leave work, what's your positive affirmation? What have you accomplished? What was the I did instead of I didn't get to? What are I did? Think about that in a very positive way. 15. I call it the 3 P's: prioritizing, planning, and paring down. Prioritizing. Organize what's important to you. Planning. Where are you now? Again, planning. Where are you now? Where do you want to go? What are the actions to get you where you want to go? Planning. Paring down. You can't do it all. You can't. Don't try to do it all. All that will do is continue to stress. The easiest way that I can create stress in anyone's life is give them a heavy workload and put a clock on it. It's all I need to do, and stress will abound. I suggest you look for help, a peer coach. Look at the self-help books and materials. You can look at information online in groups, books, articles, meditation, prayer, whatever you feel will help you. Do it. 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the afternoon, and set a period of time for reflection for yourself at night. Looking for help is extremely important. So summarize. Building resilience for yourself. I've covered 15 key points with you. In summarizing, it's around taking action toward meeting your goals. Make connections with a peer coach, a colleague, a confidant family member. Avoid crisis as insurmountable and look at it as something positive you can achieve. Accept that change is part of living. Yes, it's part of living. Be decisive. Look for opportunities in self-discovery. Nurture a positive view of yourself and others. Maintain a healthy outlook. Ladies and gentlemen, we will continue to explore and find ways to help you to be positive. If I can help you in any way, my contact information is on the left-hand side. Please reach out. I'd be glad to address any questions that you may have. We're in this together, and my idea is to help you help yourself. So please focus on helping yourself to grow in a positive way. What have you learned about yourself over the last year?